is Hank and Miles at Philippines, our next phase. Our next phase in our move to the Philippines has been a productive one for this March 2016. We are now in the process of building our house. Um, we've been through the process of deciding where we want to go, whether we want to be in the city, right outside the city, or the province. We're building in the province, which brings extra issues that we have to deal with. So we're right now have a bunkhouse built for workers there, and because it is a province, there's a few things that you additionally have to deal with. We have to have a bunkhouse and a storage facility for the guys to work there. Some of the guys are not in that area, so they need a place to stay during the week while the work is being done. Then we need a cobalt for storage for the material so it'll be readily available because we're outside of the city again. Also, because we're outside of the city, we have to provide our own water and contract an electrical company to bring the wire for the electrical. So the status of the cobalt, the storage is built. We have quite a bit of material stored there now. One of the things with the storage is because we're outside of the city, when we have to get our lumber, and we're using quite a bit of lumber to build the house, we have to get the lumber from the area there. And so instead of going to a lumber yard and just picking it out and give them a list of what you need, you have to find someone with a tree farm with the type of lumber you want and give them a list of things you want, and then they cut the trees and then they deliver you the lumber that you're asking for. But when that happens also, the lumber is a little bit green, so you really want to make sure the lumber has dried out some before you actually use it. So when we have the lumber there, we have to get it treated for termites and other little insects, and so that process is going very well. We have some rebar and some other building materials there, and so that's nice. The bunkhouse is 99.9% finished, and there's actually workers there doing some of the preliminary work, and it's working out very well. Okay, so now the other process is we have actually had to have the fence built around the bunkhouse and the cobalt for storage for safety. And then the area where the actual house is going to be built is now fenced off, and the layout for the foundation is done. A lot of the things that has happened in March is in the preparation. Okay, we've had a company come out, actually it's a group of guys come out, and they had to dig a well to get down to the water on the property. But we were lucky enough that the water was on the property. It was a little bit deep, and it was an adventure for me because here in the U.S., when you have to dig something like that, they have a big truck come out with an auger and everything, and he drills down and puts casing in, and you can get your water like that. There, everything is kind of done by hand. So the guys that came out to do the water well actually had to dig down over 40 feet and put casing in and establish the water. So it was an adventure. There was a few situations where water seemed to be ready and available, but it didn't continue. So it was a process. But now that process is over, and the water is plentiful now, and the pump is working without any interruptions of the water. Next, we have establishing electrical to the property. So our friends there, and we are very lucky to have friends there to help us out with all those phases when it comes to administration and getting permits and setting up the electrical and all the other services that will be needed. So we have friends to help us out, and they went to the electrical company and they came out, and we had to install poles for them to run the wire to our property, and it went pretty smooth. The poles are now installed. We're notifying the electrical company so they can schedule us to have the electrical wire come out and installed, and have it there for the construction phase. So far, so good. You know, there's always little challenges in any project, so that's why it's great to have people there to help you that you know to advocate for you. So now with the house, we actually have the layout of the foundation and some excavation started. But this is the 28th, so the beginning of next month, in April, the first week, they're going to have a crew there, and they're going to start in earnest with the foundation, getting the rebar set up, and getting ready to do the foundation, which is very great, very exciting. Miles and I are very excited. My brother's is good in construction, so we have enlisted him to come through the property and kind of be our eyes and ears. And so with the technology now, which is great, he has been able to send us some pictures of different phases, and we get excited when we see these pictures and the progress. So, and we are very fortunate to have this piece of property. We are very looking forward to living there. It's beautiful scenery. And then we found out recently that there's a creek right behind our property. It was just public land, and there's fish there. So really, it's been a blessing. Every week seems like we find out something that's makes us more anxious about getting there. So the house is underway. Things are going good. We actually have a chicken coop with some chickens on the property now, so we feel like ranchers. But so everything in the Philippines, you know, is going well. Like I said, there's always challenges, and we're trying our best to meet those challenges. So now in the U.S., we have some issues to deal with. So before we move, we are in a house now, so we're in the process of selling that house, and it's kind of been a long process. Dealing with the real estate agent, we've had to show the house quite a number of times, and then dealing with the lending company and meeting their requirements. And so we've shown the house, thought we were finished, and then they say, oh, we need to do this, that, and have more people come through. But now we're at the end of that phase. There's time for people to come through to look to give offers is over, and we have offers on board. So now it's just a matter of going through the process. So we are thinking, and the real estate agent has been telling us that once it's decided who is going to be the one offer we accept, then it could be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for the whole process to be finished, and then we will have to move out. So that leads us to the other issue here. We are looking right now for a storage company to store the things that we want to ship to the Philippines, and we are in the process of boxing. Mostly Miles is doing the boxing, and I'm doing the heavy work. So I'm just lifting the boxes. We have strapping material to strap the boxes, so it's a team effort. As with most phases of this project, is a team effort. We put our heads together and try to get it done. So with the shipping and the boxing, we have found a shipping company that we want to use to ship the things that we want in the Philippines. And that was a decision we had to make also. So there's a lot of decisions on the process to get here. And that was when we decided that we was going to ship some of the items. And so with that, that's why we had to have a storage area, because my wife's Filipina, she will get a one-time exemption for a lot of the tariffs and things for the shipping. But she has to be there when the ship gets there. And so we have to store the items until about a month before we're going to leave, because we can't have the items show up without us being there. So that's the reason why we are storing it. So which leads us to the phase of when we're going to leave. So that depends on Miles getting her citizenship and getting her passport, and then we can go. So we're in the phase there where now we've applied for her citizenship. We've had the biometric interview, and they've given her some study materials. And looking on the internet, they've already said she's approved for the interview, and they will send us a notification when the interview will happen. So that's where we are right now. We're waiting for the notice for the interview to happen and go through that phase. So after the interview, there's one more phase, which would be the oath taking, and then we do the passport, and then we will be ready. So it's probably a number of months. We're very anxious. We're waiting for the mail to come and when we're going to get the notice, so we can kind of schedule our next step. So that's a lot of things that was happening in March. Very exciting things. Every week, every other day, we're getting excited because we're getting pictures and ideas of what we're gonna do. And even though you build a house, that's just the start. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna build patios and things like that? And we are very excited about our move to the Philippines and getting a date and actually setting up. So March is a good month. I'm looking forward to April, when the house actually starts and we can actually see it getting built from the ground up. So Hank and Miles, March is good. April will be better. Thanks. Take care. Bye.